So the Eclipse trip is coming up, and I thought it'd be a good idea to have a little bit of extra fuel for the generator. They're talking about possible fuel shortages and stuff like that, so I just ordered the Rotopax. It's an extra 2 gallons, just to help with the generator fuel. This tank, probably the most well-built, like, gas can I've ever encountered. Super solid, super sturdy. You could probably drive on it, it probably wouldn't break. Cap comes off easy. It conceals the nozzle on the inside, so you just flip it around. There's a thumb switch to kind of help you with the locking teeth. There's a barrier down in there that's maybe anti-siphon. Doesn't feel like it wants to like come out of there, so people can't just siphon your gas off of your tank. And then onto the locking mount. So you can get an unlock or a non-locking style, but I got the locking style. Everything in the package, I'll just go over it. But you have the Rotopax handle. That's the biggest part. This is going to be the part that holds on to the gas can and tightens down. Then you see the lock on there for this version. The keys, bag of hardware. They send you everything that you need. And the mounting plate to mount it on whatever surface you're going to do. So they send you their own extra screws. They're kind of security screws. There's nothing on the outside to grab onto, so they kind of fit in, and then the washers and nuts in the back will hold it in. There's 2 bolts that come with it. Those are for attaching the mounting plate to the handle. And I think just because of all the vibrations of the van, I'm going to put some Loctite on this because they're going to be harder to get to. So I'm using the Loctite blue. It's the one that's removable, so it just kind of helps keep things tight when there's vibrations happening. So I got this tightened down. Locking it. So the thing that they tell you with the lock is just a cylinder. So when you unlock it, you can remove the whole cylinder out of the handle. You see me do it here. They tell you not to leave the lock in, like if the weather's bad or if you're driving through dirty conditions, salty conditions. So it'll be tight on its own. You should just put the lock in like when the van's not supervised, when you're not gonna be near it. You know what I mean? So that's just something to think about. They also tell you can spray a little WD-40 in there to help protect it, but I'm not gonna keep mine locked all the time. Now, if you have an Aluminess carrier, Aluminess had the forethought to make it so this plate and these mounting screws will actually connect to the Rotopax mount. So remove the plate, use the same screws that Aluminess gave you, and tighten this down. You can't use the plate and the Aluminess plate and this mounting plate together, so you have to remove one, but you won't be able to tell once everything's all mounted up. So tighten all those screws down, and then you can see I'm just unscrewing the locking part of the handle, or the handle part that secures it. That fits nicely inside the gas can. You see these 2 little like bumps on there, and then the indents in the handle. That's how it's going to secure itself so that it can't untwist. It's why you need 2 pieces to the handle to spin. So you can see I have those indents lining up with the bumps. And then as I spin this, it's actually very satisfying how it locks in every time. You can see how it's getting tighter and tighter to the can, and those bumps on the gas can fit into the indents of the handle. So once you get it actually tight, which I'm getting pretty close, I think. Like the only way to unlock this is if you can move the outside of the handle, because the inside's not going to move now. It's like, I'm not going to say fused to the gas can, but it's basically tight to the gas can. So if you're going to lock it, you put the cylinder in there, and now both sides can't turn together. You have to be able to turn the outside one separate of the inside one in order to actually loosen it. It clicks so well together, I don't think it'll loosen on its own as you're driving. So that's it. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. It's pretty solid on there. So next video, the trip's getting close, so I'm going to go over the different steps I take to ready the van on the outside. So the type of things I'm looking at to make the van basically like road ready for a long trip. So like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.